Welcome back to the channel. So, Real Madrid finally got a win. They finally did it, beating the mighty Pachuca 3-1 and getting some decent points on the board. Let's dive into it. First of all, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing, dropping a comment, leaving a like. It really does help the channel to grow. Right, okay, let's get into the negatives. It couldn't have started worse. Asensio red carded within the first 10 minutes, and I don't know about you guys, but my prevailing thought was, what was he thinking? But this isn't the first time. This is something that we saw in the Copa del Rey final with Rafinha and against Al Hilal with the penalty. And you just think, this is a player that, although he's got loads of minutes under his belt, is very raw. He's still learning the game. He's learning what he can and can't get away with. And hopefully this serves as a slap on the wrist for him. And I know that Courtois was absolutely scathing in his post-match comments. And this is not too controversial. This is fact. He was stupid. He shouldn't have done it. I get the whole wanting to be the martyr, the guy that puts the team first. I'll take one for the team, lads. I'll get sent off. At least it prevents a goal. But you're a few minutes into the game. Your team have then got to play the rest of the match with 10 men, and they're not thanking you for it because they're having to run extra. However, we looked a lot better with Asensio off the pitch when we had 10 men. Why? Because we had to be disciplined. We had to defend in two banks of four. And yes, if it weren't for Courtois, things could have got really, really ugly because Pachuca were getting in far too easily behind our back four. Having said that, there were plenty of positives to take out of this game, and the biggest positive of all is the fact that we actually got the win, even though we had 10 men from the first 10 minutes. So, who played well and who stands out? The first player, without a doubt, is Dean Howson. What a talent. We knew that he was good. We've seen him for Bournemouth. He's this ball-playing centre-back. He's the exact kind of player that we didn't have last season. He adds an entirely different dimension to the way that we play the game because he gets that ball out fast. Another one, and this is quite controversial because I have seen a few people slagging him off a little bit online, but Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think when you make him the spare man on the pitch, you create danger. And his role in that goal for Arda was incredible. That is exactly what I want to see from Trent because he made a career out of doing this for Liverpool. That fast ball across the box, defenders do not want to deal with it. It creates chaos. It creates uncertainty. There's nothing worse than getting a player in that position. They take a touch, take another touch, and suddenly everyone's picked up a man. You've got someone out, you've blocked the cross, and the chance is gone. No, you want to be quick switches of the ball. That is what you want to do if you want to break down these stubborn teams. And Pachuca weren't especially stubborn. I mean, with 11 men on the pitch, they still conceded 3 goals. But it's a sign of things to come. It's a sign of what he brings to the team. Another one, Arda Güler. This guy came in for Rodrigo on that side and he didn't look back. And one of the things that I really enjoyed watching from Arda Güler, especially last season, was the fact that he's no longer the naive, shy, the timid player who's too afraid to say anything to anyone. He's completely changed. He is demanding the ball from his teammates. He's shouting at others. I remember last season watching him berate Vinicius Jr. when he'd failed to get the pass right. Just little examples of how this kid has changed. And he looks ready to play for this side. Give him more minutes. You can see from his comments that he's saying all of the right things. Xabi Alonso wants more short passes, wants him on the ball more. Great, fantastic. That's only going to happen if we're dominating possession, and that isn't something that's happened in the past few seasons. We've tended to set up in a low block, inviting pressure, hoping to capitalise with our pacey forwards. But we've got the ability to dominate games, especially now that we've got those players who can play those passes. So why not give him those minutes? Interesting as well, little side note, Rodrigo got no minutes whatsoever last night. Is it a sign? We talked about this before the tournament. How would Xabi Alonso handle Rodrigo, the player who's open to the move away? Would he embrace him? Would he marginalise him? Well, it's not definitive, but it's definitely something to bear in mind. There's a final point that I really want to make, and that is about a player who didn't even get on the score sheet, and it's Gonzalo, it's the boy up front. How much better does this team look with a focal point? And I know that Mbappe did an incredible job last season. He scored a hatful of goals. But it's worth considering the impact of a player in that position, a player that can hold up the ball, bring others into play, and his play with the others in the team, the link-up play is superb. He might not be the most clinical, he might miss the odd chance, but it just shows you the kind of thing that you can have in the team. Also, little addition here, Vinicius, he actually ran. He pressed the opponents. When have we seen that before? It hasn't been for years. Vinicius used to put a shift in. When we had Karim Benzema in the side, he was in his ear for 90 minutes a game, urging him to do more, pressing him to do more. And finally he's back. Vinicius of old. Let's hope that it's not a flash in the pan. Let's hope that it's something a little bit more consistent this time. But the signs are there. There were real positives. What a performance. I've completely neglected to talk about Fede Valverde. What an absolute monster he was yesterday. And the perfect compliment from Xabi Alonso after the game. He compared him to one of my all-time favourite players, Steven Gerrard. We've always said this. The powerful midfielder that can run forward with the ball, has thunderbolt shots which cripple the opponent's goal. Absolutely immense. And he's got that in his locker. So let's unleash him. And I've even forgot to talk about Jude Bellingham. What a performance. Where's he been hiding that? The arrogant performance where he takes the ball on, does the work himself, links up well with his teammates, gets involved in the play. And yes, he was playing centre mid yesterday, which is more of what we want to see from him. This is one which we need to see consistently because yes, he can silence the crowd. He can remind us all that he's amazing, but we know he's amazing. We know he's got that talent. We just want to see it more often. So more of the same, please, but a little bit more focus from minute one and so many positives that we can take out of that game. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Take care.